Superman issue 17 sees the Man of Steel settle a free trade dispute between two alien nations, telling the aliens he is there because someone needs to be and they can avoid interstellar trade wars together. Later, Clark goes to see Lois, who is looking over the gift Lex gave her. Lois is frustrated at being cooped up while Clark is off cleaning up his father's messes. Clark learns of the box on Lois's table is from Lex Luthor, and while Lois says it's been very distracting, Clark asks her directly if she needs help with whatever is inside the box. Lois says that this one is on her, however, and Clark says he won't go and confront Lex like he would usually do, since that's what he wants, so instead he begins patrolling with his telescopic vision. He notes everything seems normal, and Lois is sorry that Clark couldn't find a reason to stop this conversation and fly away, but she wants him to know he doesn't need to carry everything on his shoulders. Clark tells her it's nothing to do with his ego, this is Lex Luthor they are talking about and he needs to be involved. Lois angrily wonders what Clark thought Lex gave her, be it a weapon to stop him or power for herself. She knows Lex wants Clark to think that, since he probably knows all about the things Clark has lost recently, like his son and father, and he's trying to get into his head. Lois wants to figure out what to do, but Clark wants to know what's in the box, and Lois says that it's something she needs to publish in the Daily Planet. The realization that he's lost his son and father soon set in on Clark as he tells Lois Luthor has gone completely insane. Lois knows this, and this is Lex trying to get into Clark's head, and she isn't going to let him do that. But right now she doesn't want to unpack any of the baggage in between them. Clark tells his wife that he'll be there when she's ready to talk about everything, and Lois says that she'll be there when he's ready. Clark asks Lois to come fly with him, and despite her deadlines, Lois flies with her husband, who says with everything they've been going through and what's coming, maybe Superman is a luxury they can't afford anymore. Elsewhere, Star Labs holds a secret meeting in their new soundproof facility in the desert. Dr. Glory leads the meeting about their discovery of the multiverse and how they need to protect their interests and get ahead of everyone on this before someone steals it from underneath them. As the executives wonder what Glory has in mind, Superman arrives, causing the base to erupt into chaos and begin shredding and burning everything that incriminates them. Clark writes up the article about finding the base thanks to Young Justice, but Dr. Glory managed to escape Superman in the chaos. Later, Superman meets with Supergirl at the Fortress of Solitude. Clark says that he has something to tell Kara and wants her to fly with him. She follows Clark to New Krypton, where they meet with Zod, who welcomes Kal and Kara to the planet and shows them around the city he and Ursa are building. Zod knows that something is troubling Kal, wondering if his Kryptonian powers of perception aren't working. Kara tells him to let Kal work out those powers on his own, as she tells Zod that she isn't comfortable speaking with him after all the times he's tried to kill her. Zod takes his leave as Kara wonders what's going on with her cousin, who says that he has something big to ask her. Clark says that he's going to do something that he needs to do, and it will infect her and everyone he knows, but it will affect her the most. Kara doesn't say anything, and Clark knows that she knows what he's talking about, but she wants him to tell her. Clark tells her that this is about the truth, and the truth about him and his identity. Superman issue 17 was such a fucking slog of an issue. God, this issue was so fucking stupid. Ignoring the fact that half this issue apparently happens at the same time as Event Leviathan, the Justice Doom War, and Action Comics, and Sea of Bane and all that shit, nothing about this comics makes sense. Clark seems to forget he allowed his son to go to the future willingly. He was okay with that. But here it's made out like the future stole him and like there was nothing they could do. He immediately also forgets about the United Planets so he can go home and mope around with Lois, and then just decide he's going to tell everyone his secret identity for no real reason at all. It's not being threatened, it's not him getting out in front of a villain or anything. He just decides he's gonna do it for no reason at all, you know, even though it happened not even 30 issues ago in the New 52. So way to bring new and fresh ideas to the table, Bendis. Why this issue just couldn't just ignore all the continuity bullshit that most of the DC Comics is doing nowadays and just focus on Clark having to deal and set up with the United Planets and like the sort of bureaucratic red tape he would have to go through. That would have been pretty cool and interesting, and you could actually have fun with that, with Superman having to deal with all these diplomatic solutions to things. It would have been pretty cool, but this is just absolutely stupid. And on top of all of that, this book gave me a headache thanks to the dialogue that was written by someone with a cognitive disorder. It's absolutely awful, but at least Kevin Maguire's pretty fun art yields some really cool reaction pics. I will not be scoring Superman issue 16.